So I have been living in Costa Rica for almost a year and a half now. I left Canada, I sold all my stuff, and my partner and I moved here to the southern zone of Costa Rica. This has been a overall really beautiful path for us that required a lot of resilience. And I felt called to just make a video talking about the realities of completely rerouting yourself from your home country to a place that's completely unknown. Now, I didn't have anything specifically bringing me to Costa Rica. My partner had just been here several times and felt that it was the closest thing he had found to paradise. And so together we decided to come here. Now, what's helped us the most with this move is having a sense of purpose and reason why we are coming here. Community, intentional community has been our greatest reason. And there's so many people looking to live in community right now and so many people wanting to come to Costa Rica for that. And that's a whole other video of the realities of trying to make that happen. And yet having that focus of this is what we know that we are aligning with, that we are meant to follow as a path, has really helped send us the right people, the right places, the right experiences, because we've just really been aligned with that focus. It requires a lot of resilience and trust and surrender, of course, because the path is not linear. And as much as it's not linear for community building, it's not linear for life, and it's especially not linear when you just move to a new place that you've never been to. So you really need to just stay grounded in yourself and not let the unpredictability of life shake you too much. I actually struggle when people back home want my news because it always feels like things are moving so quickly that I'll give them news and I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to be true for. But that's just like the reality of the energy here is fast and there's a lot of people coming through, and as beautiful as it is, it can sometimes be ungrounding. So having a focus and having a focus of meeting people who are going to help you settle, of really meeting people who feel like soul family in your heart is, in my opinion, super important. Now, there's really also a need, like I just touched on before, to flow with the ups and downs of life and the direction that things take you. A lot of people talk about how, like, Costa Rica often spits people out. Just the energy, as beautiful and feminine and nurturing as it is, can be quite intense for some people. And they arrive here and they go through all sorts of things and then chaos sort of hits and they have to leave. I've heard a lot of stories like that. Luckily, that has not been my path. I've very much felt welcomed and supported in being here throughout my journey here and more. But that's partly, or I think largely actually, because I have been in a state of acceptance and surrender and knowing that it's not always going to be perfect. It is hard to just jump to another country and just find everything again. Figure it all out, learn the language. Just there's so many things to learn and get acclimated to. But that's also just part of the reality of choosing to come here, and it just balances out, right? It is paradise. I mean, where I live is the most beautiful place I've ever been to, and I'm not exaggerating. There's the most incredible river and everything is just so rich, and the wildlife and the biodiversity is just like bliss. And I'm so grateful that I get to experience this every day and that I've had the resilience to keep going. So not letting obstacles, challenges and the unknown get to you, but having that focus, staying firm in your heart, staying grounded in your being and knowing your direction. That's going to be really important. And I often hear people recommend, before you buy land in Costa Rica, to live here for 2 years to test it out. Because the reality is that there's a lot of people that come here and realize that it's just simply not for them, because it's a whole different experience of reality to come here. And this abundance can be really alluring, yet it's just not for everyone. I know that it's for me. I know that it's nourishing for me. I know that the energetic vortex that is this place that I live in is beneficial for my soul's evolution, for my being. It might not be the case for everyone. So there is also just a need to test things out, of course, right? You arrive with a certain intention, and then sometimes life just throws you a curveball, and that's just surrendering to the eternal flow. I do want to touch on that idea of flow, though, because so many people come here with this complete surrender of flow in a total feminine energy. And as beautiful as that is, if you want to root yourself, you need that masculine. You gotta work at it. Like, finding a house was so hard, for real. And I was looking in the rainy season, and just like finding a car was such a challenge. Finding the right mechanic, still haven't gotten that one right. There's like all these things that you just really need to like be firm in and solid. And so if you're just saying that's like, oh, I'm just gonna let life like show me, it's beautiful. I don't think in the long term it's sustainable. My partner and I have built a business. We have asked ourselves, what is missing for us to actually be able to feel settled? And these financial security, like house security, mobility, like these things are really important and beautiful. For me at least, they really helped me settle in. And so like prioritizing and putting energy in the right directions for things to really happen, for you to feel that sense of security. My root chakra needs to feel activated for me to feel at home in a place and for me to feel good where I'm living. So that's just a little update on my perspective of what I think is needed to be able to come live in a place like this. I do think it's so worth it to make the move, and to just do so with intention, with a lot of surrender and trust, and knowing that you are guided, surrendering, but at the same time being focused on what you want. I mean, that's essentially what life is, right? So just following that calling. If you feel called to come here or to a place that's similar, listen to that. It's so nourishing to do so. And for so long, I have to say, I ignored my soul's calls. Like throughout all my 20s, my soul was like, you need to leave Canada and experience life elsewhere. And I was like, no, I don't want to leave my comfort, my house, my everything. And it was a challenge to do so. Really, so much leaving my comfort zone. And I'm very glad I did so, but my life still requires me to live outside my comfort zone every day. It's worth it. So worth it, but there's no going back now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.